Okay, well, thank you all for letting me come in. Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Raise of hands real quick. Who here is really familiar with any AI in the classroom? Okay, this is awesome. Okay? Like, have you tried it?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. I love it. Anybody in here has tried school AI at all yet? Oh, wow, this is awesome. I'm usually presenting to groups as like, we have no idea what this is, so this is great. Well, I'm going to go through as if you know nothing, but I want you to like dig in and ask questions. This is super informal, so please, like, we're gonna have this open and we can talk through anything, okay? Really quick, maybe raise of hands, a couple of you could share a little bit about what you've done in your, I'm assuming mostly teachers in here, correct? Okay.
Instructional technology quarters.
Okay.
We're still teaching, trying to get our teaching license.
Oh, perfect, okay. Anybody, any cool examples of what you've seen with school AI in a classroom yet? Anybody want to share? Or not enough yet? That's okay.
Co-teacher.
Sorry, co-teacher?
Co-teacher.
Co-teacher, I love it. Okay. Anybody here not know what co-teacher is yet? We'll talk about it. So, okay? Awesome. Well, like I said, please feel free to ask questions. We're going to go through everything here. There's 3 main sections inside of School AI. And in just a minute here, I'm going to have you all interacting with it as if you were a student. Okay? We'll create a space and get going. So, spaces, just so you're aware, spaces are where students are able to come in and interact with it. And this is what really is really fun and cool about what we do. Is students do not have logins inside of School AI, but when a teacher creates a space about anything you can think of, students are given access to that. And then they can go in and interact in a safe way. They cannot go in and cheat. Trust me, my own daughter has asked me to create spaces for her so she can cheat. It doesn't work. I can show you some of her examples of what she tries to do. And then we'll get into tools, where tools are more like your day-to-day operation pieces for teachers, where you're building lesson plans and IEPs and text levelers, whatever you can think of there, there's going to be a tool for that. What's really cool is from when I'm building a lesson plan in there, I can literally just launch a space and make it interactive for students right away. We'll touch on that. And then assistance, this gentleman in the back talked about co-teacher. This is where I can have my own personalized chatbot, basically, if you will, around an educational setting. So I'm not just going to another AI platform and doing general AI stuff. This is built for education, okay? So we will jump in. Any questions before we get jumping in and going? We're gonna go right into a space, okay? Let me show you, if everybody wants to pull up schoolalI.com, if I can bend over here and type. Okay, if you go schoolalI.com, if you open that up, and down here, in just a second, you're going to enter a code, okay? So just have that ready to go, and I'll share that with you when we are ready, okay? So is everybody familiar with spaces and what we do here? Has everybody seen this, or maybe I should ask, who has not seen spaces inside of School AI? Okay, a few of you, awesome. This hopefully will be fun for you. Okay, again, so spaces is where we are able to have the students come in and interact, okay? So to start off, we're going to, let's go down here. This is always a really fun one. We're going to, I'll just do Abraham Lincoln because it's right there. We're gonna go ahead and launch. I'm gonna spend a few minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, where each of you are gonna go in and you're gonna start chatting with Abraham Lincoln, okay? So if you will, go to that schoolalI.com, and down there on the bottom, it has enter code. If you just enter PBLP, that code that you see on the board there. And if you have questions, please let me know, but we'll just spend the next like 5 minutes or so going through and letting you chat with Abraham Lincoln. And if you don't have your device, you can do it on your phone or anything too. If you go to schoolalI.com, down there on the bottom it says have a student code. On the bottom of the page, do you see that? Oh, you're on, oh, sorry, that's on app. That's good. Just like regular School AI. Yeah, sorry for the confusion there. Yes. Sneak around, it's kind of tight over there. Oh, yeah, so if you, so right now you're on Pet School AI, if you just go to regular schoolai.com, it'll be down on the bottom.
Hello, I'm just enjoying our chat. You might find it interesting that I live in the country.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
And so Jeff, every time we type in a prompt question to it, it is going to engage with different variations. Of
Correct.
So if the students, if we all ask the exact same question, would it come up with the same prompt response?
I have not tested that. I don't think so.
Well, let's test it now. Everybody type in, when was Abraham Lincoln born? I'm curious to see in question mark, and I want to see if it all comes with the same prompt, same response. Statement I got was, I was born on February 12, 1909. Did everybody get that?
I got more.
1809, I'm sorry. That was
I was like, yours is way off.
Okay, that's right, it was working. Modification.
It's related to mine says it's different based upon what we.
Okay.
Already had some interactions. It'd be interesting to test that without having already chatted with it. To see
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
all.
just the same
Let's
thing.
see how much is going to modify
Yeah.
each different prompt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't chat with it at all, and I asked the question. Because I put in, when was Abraham Lincoln born? I just put you born. And I got, I was born on February 12, 1809, in a humble log cabin in Kentucky. Life wasn't easy back then. What do you think the biggest challenge, was the biggest challenge I faced growing up? That's
More
what I
detail.
got.
So, depending on your prompt and how you say it and what you say.
Yep. And just so you're aware here, this one is set up as a prompt to where the student, Abraham Lincoln, is also like interacting with them and chatting with them and asking them questions.
I like that.
Yeah, I could set it up to where, so like, I mentioned my daughter, right? So my daughter's a junior in high school. Her friends are in their history class. They were all tasked with going and finding a historical figure that they wanted to write a paper on. And then the teacher helped create a space for each one of them. But created the prompting so that the students were interviewing that figure and not the figure interviewing them. And then they took that information and wrote their papers on it based on the interview of that person.
Is there a way for the students to, like, they choose somebody, and this is too advanced. If they choose somebody and they create the AI to generate the question?
Students do not yet.
Okay.
Right now, we'll get into that too, but right now students have no accounts. They cannot come in here and do anything. Eventually we will have that, but there's a lot of safety parameters we're building before we do that. So, okay, everybody ready to move on? I want to show what's happening, okay? So y'all are in there as if you're students. Now this is, I'm in here from back office as if I'm the teacher. Okay, and a few things are happening here that allows me, number one, to see everything is happening. So if you wrote something crazy in here, I will see it, okay? And if you try to derail it, I promise you, it will not allow you to derail the system. Students will go in there and test it out. They will type in super inappropriate things. They will push the limits on the system, I promise, but it will always bring them back and try to get them on top of it, okay? So a few cool things here is it gives me a quick emoji just to let me kind of know sentiment to fill in the room with that individual student, what's going on. So I kind of see what's happening. Gives me kind of a headline of how that chat is going. Over here, a little bit more information. Right, so a few things here going on. I can open up whoever Alicia is. Hopefully I'm not embarrassing you. But I can open up as like, don't go to the play. I like that. Yeah? I literally was there last night. It's been like a long time since I've been to the city. So I literally walked there last night from my hotel and stuff like that, right? So I can see everything happening here. And if I want, Alicia, wherever you're like, hey, let's get back on topic or whatever's going on, I will send that. And Alicia, where are you at in the room?
Right here.
Right there. Alicia, what just happened on your chat? Do you still have it open?
I do, but not easily.
Okay, so on your chat, you should see a little box on the right-hand side, a message from me as the teacher that says, hey, let's get back on track. Not yet? Okay.
Sadly.
No, no worries. Let's get back on topic, okay? That will pull up and show that. So I can have some personalized interactions with my students as well, just to let them know, like, hey, I am here. If will somebody do something and write something inappropriate? Like, please, I know this is, inappropriate, but would somebody please write, hey, I want to make a bomb or something like that? Oh, Jackie just did it. Okay, there we go. She can do that, right? Okay, so Meredith, student alarming statement about making a bomb. I got a few of them, right? So it immediately will flag me and let me know that, hey, something crazy or inappropriate is happening, right? If they try to cuss, if they talk about self-harm, and they talk about, you would be shocked. You probably won't be shocked, but you will be. It's alarming.
Yeah, I said wrong. I said B-O-N-G.
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah. So like that, we will be notified of that, right? And so when I'm in here, there's a cool couple things here. I can add collaborators. So if there's something I need to bring in a guidance counselor or a school administrator or something like that, I can bring them in so they have access to all of this as well. But if I'm a co-teacher, I need, separate classrooms, we're doing something on the same activity, we can collaborate and work on this together as collaborators as well. So I just do that right there, add collaborators. If that is going on, I can see Meredith here and I can go ahead and I can pause that chat. So Meredith cannot continue to chat, right?
It says my session has been paused.
Yes, there you go. It pauses you immediately. I can remove you from it. It will not delete this chat history. So if I ever need to come back and reference it, I can. But now, you know what, Meredith, we had a quick chat. We're good to go. Now I can resume and she is good to keep chatting, right? So I can see everything that's happening. But then what's really cool here is in this, it will dynamically group you based on your level of engagement, based on your level of understanding of whatever this topic is. It gives me as the teacher a quick snapshot to understand, okay, how are my students interacting with this topic? Do they understand it? Who down here maybe needs some help, right? It shows a couple of things here. Maybe they're not very engaged yet or something like that. It'll kind of show me who I need to be looking out for. Maybe there's some remedial help or something like that I need to step in and help with. Okay? So that's a fun little quick jump into how to use a space, right? But let me go in and talk to you a little bit more about what's going on here. So in here, we have almost 100,000 publicly available spaces for teachers to be able to go in and find literally any topic, any idea you can think of. There's going to be something in here. If there's not, it's really, really easy to build one. And we'll build one here together in just a second, okay? So down here, we kind of always fluctuate these by popularity. We have some featured creators who are really popular, a lot of people following them, utilizing their activities, their spaces built already. So those are kind of out there available, topic-wise, November spaces, Thanksgiving, writing skills, all this kind of stuff, right? But there's probably three main areas where we see spaces utilized the most, okay? So the first one there is Sidekicks. Think of Sidekick as a personalized tutor, if you will. A personalized chatbot that I can build for any of my students. I can leave it open in general for anybody to come back and reference. I can make a specific one for a particular student based on a particular unit, based on the entire class for this school year, whatever. I've seen, oddly enough, a teacher at back to school time has uploaded their documentation, their syllabus, their calendar, all that information, and then gave access to parents. They had that space available for parents to jump in and access that information throughout the school year, so they don't have to email the teacher and get answers. They can quickly just reference that space as well. Probably the most unique way I've seen this used was a school district in New York State. Over the summer was hiring a new superintendent. They opened up the space and had all their applicants go through chatting with a AI bot about their district, right? It was kind of unique. But I'm telling you right now, as weird as you can think, you can do it, right? Probably the most popular day-to-day inside of a classroom are going to be bell ringers and exit tickets, right? This is where I can now get a quick snapshot going into the lesson, who's gonna maybe be struggling, who's probably gonna be really excelling at this unit or whatever. I can get that snapshot. Exit ticket is where I can build out outcomes, and I can see, okay, who did not understand what I tried to teach today, right? Who do I need to come back and have some extra help with, or I can build a personalized tutor for, or anything like that. And then there's all these other ones. I advise you all, please go in and start testing these out. So you can do video explorers, choose your own adventure, book explorers, all these kind of things. These just give you quick snapshots on how to do these specific ones. Just in general, we can go in and create. But before we create, any questions on what we're seeing so far? Yes, sir.
You said students do not have a login or anything such as that. So when you get those red flags and the student just put their initial J and maybe it was really pretending somebody else, how do we verify any of that?
Yes, that is a challenge. So it is the first few times we're getting in is just talking to the students about, hey, please make sure to put your first name or some identifiable marking so I know as a teacher, right? Now, with the purchase license, there is integration with LMSs, whatever LMS you're using. And so as those students, it's single sign-on. So as the students are in, they're, and Jackie, I forgot, is it Canvas? Canvas, I thought so. I talked to too many districts, I can't remember, right? Former Canvas guy here too, so I love it. So they would be in Canvas and the teacher would push that space into Canvas and students would be chatting right inside of the Canvas window inside of School AI. And so then that way I would automatically know who they are. Yeah. Any other questions about what we've seen so far? Okay, does anybody want to be a volunteer on how we're going to create one right now? Oh, let me go back to show you. So I talked about my daughter Lucy, right? I think it was this one, history tutor. Let me go find her. I'm trying to find her, is it language arts? Oh, that's all right. I won't worry about it right now. I can't remember which one I had done for her, but she says, hey, write me a paper on Helen Keller. And it says, I can't write that for you, but. Okay. Anybody have an idea here on one we want to build together right now? Like, what's a topic we want to do?
What is AI?
What is AI? Okay. What is AI? Okay, and I'm going to go, hey, we are talking about AI and how we can use it in education, right? I'm going to go as simple as that. Obviously, the better I get at prompting, the deeper this space will be with the students, right? But this is, when I talk to teachers, the biggest fear they have is like, I don't even know how to use ChatGPT. I don't know anything about prompting. I don't know how to do it. Right? They usually don't even know what the word prompting means with AI, and that's totally fine. But if I can literally just write that information, I can go out here and I can find standards. I don't know why I'm on Alabama. But I can go ahead and find standards, so I can come in and find Virginia standards, pull them in by grade level, by strand, all of that. And what that'll do as this space is going, it will reference that need to meet that standard in this area, and so it'll continue to reference that as it's communicating with them. I can also go out and find files. So if I've got a worksheet or something like that that I want this space to prompt or reference as it's talking with my students, it can pull from that information. Section of a workbook or a textbook or something like that, I can upload that into here and have it reference that as well. So I don't have to know everything and I don't have to put everything into this. This can help do the work for me as well. And then once I do all that, I can go ahead and head down here and I'm just going to generate all fields. This will just add a little bit more meat to it down here, give it a subtitle, give it a teacher description. I can put in a website or something like that in here that I want the students to jump into and reference or whatever I want. All that down here. And give it a second, it'll generate a cover image for me and we are good to go. So a couple things here. I always tell teachers, I recommend going through and starting a preview right from this window. This will allow me to see what's happening, see what it looks like for the students, but I can still edit it on the fly right now before I'm ready to launch it and use it. Right? But once I feel good about it, is literally just save and launch. So same thing, I could leave that open. Right, that's right where you saw that is where I would just launch in Canvas and we go directly into Canvas, but same thing here. I'm just going to copy and paste this, and now I am in as a student. So I would just type my name like you all just did, and now I'm in, right? So it's that simple to build one and have it going. And there's not a big worries. Hey there, today we're diving into the world of AI, exploring how it can be used in education. Have you ever thought about AI might help learning? I don't care, right? All that. And then you saw, and then and I will leave that Abraham Lincoln one open too. So feel free to go back and try to derail it. Do everything you can to derail it and get it inappropriate. It will always try to pull you back in. Yes, ma'am.
Is it only in English or can you get it in?
Great question. That's exactly what I was just going to show. So right here, if a student goes in there and I haven't built something yet, I have a list of about 30 languages right here. And what these ones are available for text to speech and speech to text. But that's not the limit of what we have. There's 154 languages that I could just type in my prompting as I'm creating it and just have it automatically communicate with all my students in whatever language you can think of. These are the ones we're limited to right now with text to speech, but coming very soon, all 154 will have that capability.
But we have to select what we want our students to be able to see. They can't change it to what.
They can change it. I am in here as a student, so if
Okay.
I'm in here, this is me, as if I'm a student, I'm saying, hey, let's go to Chinese, right? And I'm just going to tell it to start over, but I could tell from the beginning to start there, right? Let's do that here. And then now it will start to communicate with me as a student in that language, okay?
Can we pass on to you, or Jackie pass on to you, languages that are high-frequency languages in our school district that aren't on your list?
Absolutely. And I'll show you how to pull in any language as well.
Oh, to pull in more
Yep.
ones, okay.
Yep, so it's right here. Let me make sure my sound's up.
你好，今天我们来聊聊人工智能。
So there, I just,
已经
right away, working with me in Chinese, I can do all that, right? So as I'm building this, let me go back to the prompt here. If I were to be building this, I could just tell it to like whatever language. What's one you're working with, running into a lot?
Amharic.
Hark?
Amharic.
Amharic. I don't even know what that one is.
People who are from Ethiopia.
Oh, way cool. Okay. I don't know how to spell that, but like I can literally just tell it right here is communicate with my students in Amharic, and it will start to open up that window as they launch it and go from there, right? So like for instance, here's a space that I have. Let me go to my favorites. I have it saved in here. English and Spanish bilateral Spanish tutor. So I'm going to launch this one. So what this would do, copy this. So in here now, I've told it to communicate with me in Spanish and English. And so it'll go through everything in all the promptings. It'll understand as I type in Spanish or English, it's going to understand what's going on and reply to me in both languages because I prompted it and told it to reply in both languages, right? So I could do that with any of them.
And
Great
the
questions.
teacher gets the report of what a student is doing. The student has changed the language to pick Chinese, because
Yep.
they can read that. Does it translate it to English when it sends it to the teacher?
It recaps what's happened in English, but the what you saw there, the text window, it does not translate that. It still shows in Chinese, but it recaps what's going on in the conversation.
Yeah, those sidebars where you can recap it, or actually it says it in there, does that have a translate feature within there, or do I have to copy paste, go somewhere else?
I don't know yet. I'm going to test that out. I will test that out later.
Just
Yeah,
curious.
I have not tried that. That's a,
Just thinking the
An interesting
creative
point.
child who knows a language that I don't,
Yeah.
decides to.
yeah. I'm going to test that out tonight in the hotel. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Just let you know, I asked Abraham Lincoln if he could communicate with me in Mongolian, he answered in Spanish.
Oh, in Spanish. Interesting. Okay. So in the prompting is where I would tell it to communicate Mongolian as I build it with the teacher. The students don't have the capability right now to go to any other languages. The students are limited to those languages in that window right now. These ones right here. So a student can only go right here and do it, but as I build it as a teacher, I would say communicate in Mongolian with the student as I build it for that specific student. But like I said, I apologize for that confusion. Here probably in the next 2 months, all 154 languages will be here. So any student come in here and change that as well. I'm sorry? Arabic's not on this list right now, but it will be.
No, it's not up there, sorry. It's not.
Yeah, Arabic's not on here yet.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, like for instance, there was a school I was just talking to here in Virginia a couple weeks ago, and they had a student come in from the Middle East who speaks Farsi. And so the teacher's able to just go in, he just put in his prompt specific for this student, hey, do this space in Farsi for my student.
So I've tested this before with our world language teachers, and if it's not in that list, it's not going to do it. The kid can keep speaking in another language and stuff, and it will revert to whatever language it's programmed to be in. But once you change it, once you change that list there, that's when you start getting responses from the chatbot in that language. That's like the direction, or put it in the.
Put it in the prompt.
Yeah.
Yep. So it starts with the teacher there.
Yeah,
It has to be in their system.
yeah. It has to know what you're asking it for.
Yeah, so I just put it in that prompt saying whatever I want it to be. Yes, sir.
If students are using iPads, how do they engage? Through an app?
It's a web app.
Okay.
It's just a web app, so through the browser.
Jackie's that approved?
This is a recommended tool from the Office of Academics
Alright.
for the year of
Yeah, it is.
exploration.
Great.
Yep.
And we have a student data privacy signed with School AI. They signed it right away. So that's, all those things are good. And it's been vetted, so yeah.
Get ready for that.
Thank you.
Ready to go. Awesome. I love them. Good questions. Okay, any other questions on spaces, what these are, how I would use them, anything like that? Okay, we'll jump into tools. So now tools are like, I always tell people, like, if you're just trying to write a lesson plan using AI, you can do that anywhere, right? But in here, what's really cool is I can come in here, I can do any of these and tie them throughout School AI and what's happening, right? So I can build a lesson plan or a rubric or a quiz, whatever, IEPs, huge for special ed. Obviously, letter of recommendations, if you talk to a guidance counselor, that's like the bane of their existence, right? Having to write so many letter of recommendations. I can do all that inside of here. But what's really cool here is I can open up a lesson plan. I can open up any grade. So we're going to do, we'll go with the same topic we did earlier with AI in education, right? We are talking about how to use AI in schools, right? Same thing, same idea. The more meat I get it, the better lesson plan it will spit out for me, right? You probably have all seen something similar to this, but same thing. I can come in and pull in any standards that I wanted to reference, okay? Same thing, I can upload a worksheet, a section of a textbook, or anything like that that I wanted to reference. And then I just go ahead and generate, and in 10 seconds I've got a fairly decent lesson plan, right? And I say fairly decent is like, number one, I had nothing in here that I was telling it to do, right? So it's just kind of guessing what I want. But I always tell everybody, like, this is 80% of the grunt work for you, but it's never perfect. I don't care what anybody says. AI is never perfect. You have to come in and re-verify, make sure everything is good. This is not a complete document by any means, so I can come in here and I can continue to edit it. I can add information, whatever I want to do. I can also say, you know what, I want some more meat to that, so I just go in let's do a hands-on activity for 10 minutes or whatever, right? It's kind of hard to type and over like that, huh? Generate text, it'll like build something out for me. If I like it, I can go ahead and insert it and move it to where I want in that lesson plan, right? Nothing super special here that you probably all have seen this, okay? But what's really cool here is I can share it out, I can export it and put it into my Canvas instance or whatever I want. But right from this, I can create spaces. So now I have built this lesson plan. I spent so much time to build a lesson plan. Like, okay, I want you to build an exit ticket for me. So now after the end of that lesson, I have a space for my kids to go in and see what's going on, see where their level of understanding is. Same with Bell Ringer or Learn Anything. It's just an open space where you can go in and chat about this entire lesson and what's going on. Or multiple choice quiz. I can build an automatic 10-question quiz based off of this lesson plan. So it just helps me, so I don't have to recreate the wheel every time. I don't have to go build a lesson plan and then go redo it and build a space or anything like that. I can just have it correlate and work together. Is what's really, really fun there. And then, you know, AI, all these different tools, so there's a bunch of them in here, right? But if there's one, we get questions all the time is like, hey, you know what? I really wish we could do this tool. And it's really simple. You come in here and start building just like you would build a prompting for ChatGPT, if any of you have done that before. I just start building something inside of here and telling it what I want it to do, and it'll build a tool for me. Coming very soon, we will have the ability for district level to be able to push out other specific tools for the district that they want to build and have it within your instance. Probably the weirdest one I've seen here to date is a teacher who she built a tool to give motivational messages to her students every day. And so she automatically gives her a new message every day, and she posts it on the door as they come into the classroom, right? Just fun, interesting idea. So, any questions here on tools and how I would use them, what I would do with them, or anything like that? Okay, great. And then the last section we'll go through here is assistance. So again, think of this being my little co-teacher or whatever, my own personalized chatbot inside of School AI in an educational setting. So, co-teacher is going to be like a general one where I can go in and literally just start asking it anything about my classroom. Now, when I'm doing this, I always recommend teachers come in here and give it custom instructions. So you go, let me show you where I did that. So as I'm in here, come to this little wheel here and give it custom instructions. Let School AI know more about me so it can work with me. So I can tell it, hey, I'm a 5th grade teacher. We work on, 5th grade math, and here's what we're doing in English language arts, whatever. I can give it as much instruction there about me in my classroom so it knows how to communicate with me and it knows a little bit more about my needs and what's going on. But then I can just type in anything here. I can, just like let's rethink my classroom routine. It'll start to give me ideas, whatever I want it to do. Again, the more information I give it, the better information I'll get, just like anything in AI. Other cool things in assistance, right? So I can go in, have a curriculum coach or a digital literacy coach and start chatting with it. And maybe teachers take a little bit off your plate as well with some of these tools, right? Essay grading assistant is one of the more popular ones that we see, where I can literally copy and paste an essay into there. It will auto grade based on the rubric that I built inside of School AI, and it'll grade that for me. Again, AI is not perfect, so you do need to go back and verify and make sure everything looks good. But I think your teachers will find that they will love this, not having to read the same 30 essays 10 o'clock at night. They're tired, they're biased, they know who those kids are. There might be some bias one way or the other, right? This will do it automatically, unemotionally, and give them a baseline idea. Yes, sir.
Jeff, Ken, is there a way I got teachers trying to export to like a Word or a PowerPoint? Is that feature in the school?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's coming very soon.
Okay.
Yep.
Because they had a couple questions because they're copy and pasting right now, but
Yep.
they just want to see if they can easily export
Yep.
straight to a Word document.
Yep. Not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, coming. It's being worked on right now.
Related to the essay grader, and this
Yes.
might be more of Stephanie and Jackie question. I know that for 5th grade writing assessment, I think it is, one of the ways that is graded is with an AI observer doing the grading. One of the, can the rubric be put up into School AI to give teachers a feel for what the grade might be? Does that make sense? I don't know what I don't know what the remote or what the artificial intelligence grader is that they're using.
I don't either.
Okay.
And I'm happy to do some more thinking around that and
Okay.
have a conversation with the ELA office as well.
Once the
That seems to
product
be a
is
question
purchased,
teachers
does
have.
the school district, how much control does the school district have on personalizing any of the tools? Is that a thing or?
Right now, it's not great, but right now, like our team is actively working on, hopefully by the end of December, probably end of January, there will be more control at the district level where you can control what tools and assistants are available. You can build folders that can be shared out with things like that so that teachers don't have to recreate it. You can lock down, you'll be able to lock down certain things or that's all coming right very, very soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
like for example, if we needed, instead of an assistant that says Common Core expert, Virginia SOL expert, that could be changed for
Yep.
a school district.
Yep.
Pretty easily, I
Yeah.
think.
We're working on that right now. So like Texas, obviously, as you can imagine, Texas Common Core does not fly.
Yeah.
And so that's,
Virginia.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all being worked on right now. Fun one here, field trip coordinator is just something like you don't think of. I work with schools in Asia as well. And just about a month or two ago, I was talking with a school in Tokyo, an international school there. And one of the guys on the call was also a teacher. He's like, actually, I'm taking my elementary kids on an art field trip. And so he's like, let's use it. So we started using it, right? So I just opened in there. We're doing an art camp in Tokyo for K-5 students. Helped me come up with a few good ideas for a field trip to take them on, right? So it spit out a couple ideas for me in Tokyo. I just said 5 looks interesting, and then it starts to get into the planning of it, like, hey, make sure that you don't forget permission slips and coordinating travel and blah, blah, blah. It just kind of helps me plan it so I don't have to think and do all that thinking for myself, right? So just again, assistance, these are all just areas for me to come in, not necessarily my day-to-day operation as a teacher, but just like help me become better and more effective in everything I gotta do. So that's really, unless we want to get into any other specifics or there's any other questions, that's really like the meat of how to get in and use it, right? Jackie, anything else you wanted to touch on or go through or test or anything?
No, does anyone have any questions about this? I'm kind of interested.
I wanna just follow up with Mike's question, or not Mike, with Charles.
I might too.
Charles' comment about teachers using it as co-teacher, like, can you share how you've seen them do that, or?
The few teachers I have that have been testing it, because we're playing our whole platform, just asking simple questions to just see how much information they're getting from it, like on the fly.
So they're testing it out?
Yeah, they're testing, we're testing out, because the whole county, we're just kind of seeing what profiles or what prompts work. And I got some that are doing it for the CTE classes.
Yep.
And I have 3 teachers that are doing it more for the EL students right now.
Okay.
So my SPED is the next level of teachers we're starting to experiment with.
Yep.
But right now it's EL and our CTE teachers that are playing with books.
So then the students would go in and could ask questions?
As of right now, most of them are doing the teacher-based prompts.
Teacher to teacher.
They're doing teacher to teacher.
Got it. Got it.
Because we want to see how much capability we can do with it.
Yep. Okay,
So,
cool.
but it is worked so far, which they haven't tested with. The teachers are liking the school AI.
Great.
For, just like I said, asking the coach.
Yeah.
And going to the tools aspect of it.
Yeah, cool.
You mentioned CTE. I've seen probably one of my favorite use cases of a space was a CTE teacher. They were doing, they were working on a unit and going through AutoCAD. And so what the teacher did is as they created a space, they took the AutoCAD user manual, uploaded it into the space. So now as students have questions and don't know how to use it, they just go in and start chatting with School AI. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this, like help me out. So just think of different use cases. It's not all chatting with Abraham Lincoln, right? You can literally do whatever you want and build it in there. Really, really cool stuff.
And Jeff, is the data still coming from basically ChatGPT? Is 2 years based in the data?
Yeah, so what is happening with, there's a slight difference between the free version and the paid version, okay? Number one, really quick, the free version, you can do everything in here. There's just some limitations where you can hit the 75 sessions per day max. And teacher can't continue to use it. If you don't know what that means right now, don't worry about it. We can chat more. And then you get unlimited with paid, right? LMS, so Canvas integration comes with the paid, where the free doesn't have that, right? But then the information that's being pulled, so we primarily use, just so everybody's aware, it's kind of hard to explain, but we primarily use OpenAI's ChatGPT for the information, right? Now requests go out to OpenAI for information that is gathered based on the questions or comments made, and then it comes back through School AI's proprietary filter, and we have a proprietary agreement with OpenAI, so no information coming in or out is used to fine-tune their models. No information from a teacher or student or anything like that does anything with ChatGPT's model. We don't change anything, we don't fix anything. It's just pulling that information out, going through our filter, and then put into School AI through an educational filter. So now the free version is using 3.5.
Okay.
The paid version is using 4.0.
Which is a little bit
more accurate.
So like, I'm thinking about my SPED teachers, I have a program, vocational. If I say go to the field trip feature, which we're thinking about doing, say plot out a field trip, get into Pentagon City Mall, using public transportation, is that data gonna pull, so on the free version, it's not gonna pull up the actual bus stops currently pulling from the Metro Transit versus the 4.0 version, which will pull up the actual live version of bus stops, times, and everything.
Unless it's changing regularly, it would still probably pull in from the free version.
It would still pull from the free
I would
version
assume.
versus,
Yeah.
okay, that's something experiment-wise we're thinking about.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting use case to test.
Okay.
So I tell people all the time, like, you probably, like day to day as a teacher, you probably won't see the difference on the response from the 3.5 to 4.0. Like, it's getting better every day, right? The free versions of ChatGPT and those tools. You know, when I'm chatting with Abraham Lincoln, I'm probably not gonna see a huge difference, right, between on that piece alone. Where that use case would be very interesting to see if there's a difference on the free versus the paid for sure.
So recommendation is if my teachers put it in, test it out, try it
Test it out,
first.
yeah.
So we're not at the bus stop.
Yeah, like what in the world?
So user test, okay,
Yep.
that's what we wanna say a lot.
Anywhere in AI.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, and then I'll come to you.
Are there plans for this to maybe synthesize data and then help direct teachers as
Yes.
to like what content or what areas or standards or strands specifically to focus on?
Yeah, there's a lot more on day-to-day data coming,
Okay.
probably by like summertime.
Okay.
With like, well, okay, what's happening with the personalized learning for my kids and like recommendations and stuff like that.
Right.
There's some other tools that's gonna help with all of that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. It's gonna be really cool, super excited about it. But if there's like general data that I have a spreadsheet or something like that, I can come in here in CoTeacher and I can paste that in or upload that spreadsheet into here and it will go through and help analyze what's going on and give me some feedback on those as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wish I could show that other stuff. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. So, and then you had a question.
So can you talk about or share about accessibility that's built into this? We have students that have vision impairment, we have students with motor impairment, we have
Yes.
students who have communication challenges. So how can this be, what's built in and what do teachers have to tell it to do?
Yes.
So that all of that is kept.
I can't really demo it necessarily right now, but so we have like Utah, we're based in Utah, just so everybody's aware. So we have the Utah School for the Deaf and Blind. We have a deaf and blind organization, I think in Oregon or Washington State, one of them. We have several of them we're working with already. We're very accessible. And so we can work with deaf, blind, whatever, accessibility wise.
And read aloud, like I look
Yes.
at like the Abraham Lincoln, if I had a reading disability, I
can
couldn't
have-
maybe read, so how would I get to
Yep.
read
So
the
if I-
question he's asking or
Yep.
the responses that he's here, the
So right
Chatbot's
here,
giving to
let me relaunch this here and show you. That is a great question.
because when you go to the little cog wheel, it's just languages, it doesn't have any.
Yeah, so right here, and the kids will notice this really fast, especially like kindergarten, first grade, they will see this too. But with, so if I was working with a deaf student, I have this speak tab right here. If I hit this, they, not deaf, sorry.
Hey there,
Blind.
how's it going? What subject are
So
you
do that
working on
right.
today?
So if I was a blind student, I could have it set up automatically, so they're in here doing their promptings and their commands. I don't know how to do that myself, but I can have it automatically read to them when they start into the program. But if there's like a kindergartner or first grader or somebody like that who's struggling with reading, they'll know what this little speak button means, right? And then same down here, I can speak into it and have
I
it
saw that.
go to.
Okay.
So, great question. And then there was a question over here. Yes, ma'am.
Two questions. The first one was created from the speak. Is there a way for them to slow it down if necessary?
If there is, I don't know how.
Okay.
I will look. That's a good one. I don't know.
That is good.
I don't know
That's really good.
how I would change that if I
I
need
know in
to.
high school land we have like more, because we use the MacBooks, we have like access to more accessibility, we could slow it down and blah, blah, blah. The second question I had was, I love that AI is focusing on our teachers and our educators. What are you all doing to support administrative staff?
Yes.
Do you have any spaces for them?
So spaces can be created for anything in there, right? So we see a lot of times like HR departments coming in and building a space for teachers to come in, like anything in the HR handbook.
Sorry, I didn't mean spaces, I meant the assistants.
Oh, assistants?
Yeah, because you already have pre-made things and assistants for our teachers to go to.
Yeah.
Is there any work on administration, and if you're gonna take that idea back with them, I just ask for 40%.
Okay. I like that. There's a lot of admin tools as far as reporting and things like that are coming. As far as assistance, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know there's a lot of work being done with admin tools, but I don't know what all they entail, so I can't give a great answer right now.
No, that's fine.
I know reports are launching in the next like 2 weeks. Early December is when the more reporting's coming, but the other ones that I'm not sure of right now.
Okay.
So our roadmap is so hard to keep track of.
It's fine.
There's a million things going on. Jackie, yes ma'am.
So I was just gonna say, cause I use it a lot for PD with administrators and stuff like that. If you look in the spaces under Discover, there's a ton, there's over 90,000 that are built already, like by both them and by the teachers who contribute. And you can take those and customize them to however you want, but there's a lot that are already like in there for like administrators.
Okay.
I failed to show
so
that.
The spaces are.
So spaces,
Yeah,
let's do that real quick.
and you can, whatever's in there already can be a nice starting point for
Yeah,
what
so
you're
I could-
looking for.
Yeah, I could come in here, self-guided professional development report. So if there is something I find, right, thank you, Jackie.
Yeah.
I failed to mention this earlier. If I go through and find something, I'll know obviously if I'm seeing it, but as I build one too, I can select if I want it public or private. But if there's someone I find, I have no idea who Michael DeSanto is. I don't know who that is, but I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool. I could possibly use this. I just hit this remix button right here. And now it gives me his entire prompting. So you can see his is very basic. Build a report template for teachers to use while discussing educational topics, right? I'm like, okay, that's not a lot there. And I can come in and customize and type, and I'm building my own instance of that baseline, right? So I can come in and search for anything like that. There's going to be a ton of stuff in here with admin stuff that I can do as
And
well.
I would also add to that is in the assistants, they just added, I think it was recently added, this new cool tool that is coaching you through how to build the prompt or build a space, which when we're working with our teachers who are new to prompting, it gives you examples of how a really well-written prompt could look. At least get them on the start of like getting to that next level of build me a lesson plan. Like, what else do you want to think about? What role do you want to take when you're doing this? What format do you want it to look like in the end? So that tool right there, that Space Designer, is a nice starting point for people who are starting.
Yes.
So I really like that feature too. I was just trying to design, I mean, I do prompting quite a bit, and I just use that tool to help me do one that I was particularly nervous about presenting to someone else. And it helped me really it didn't give me a finished product, of course, because it never should, but it definitely got me down the line to or get started.
Yep. And on that note, I'll share some in a minute here. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, can you just, in Spaces, show us what it looks like to go back to what the students did, or what we did with Abraham Lincoln, so that we can see?
To go in afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd come down to, I just click on Spaces here, right? Come down to Sessions, and it'll show me my recent ones. I can search by title, so if I remember the name of it. You can imagine I demo this all the time, right? But here's this Abraham Lincoln one, so then I would just click on it, and then it will show me that back office, what was happening.
So while there's no data, we can still go back and look at this,
Yep.
and it's still a useful tool for.
Yep. I have record of it forever, unless I delete it. And then down here, resources over here on the launch pad. This is our landing page. Resources is going to be really helpful. So I can go through a knowledge base if I have questions. If I ever in here and I have questions and I need quick access and help, I just click on this and it'll take me to AI support, school AI support. So I can start chatting with us immediately, and if it needs to be escalated, it'll go actually to our actual support team as well. It's not just AI. So that's options there. But I always tell everybody, go through this Get Certified. So if you click on that, anybody can go in here at any time. There's a ton of help stuff in here, a ton of information. Level 1 and Level 2 certification, I strongly recommend. This will take you in about 30 minutes. Level 1 will take you through School AI itself, deeper than I just did, but how do I use a space? How do I build it? Blah, 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 right? How do I use tools? How do I use assistants? You'll get a lot deeper into that, but it's only about 30 minutes. And then Level 2 will take you into general AI. How do I get good at prompting AI in general, right? And then how do I get really good at prompting school AI itself? And this one's only about 15 or so minutes. So you can go through and get really, really good at it. So Strongly recommend that. And then we could talk about later, I know we only have like 2 minutes left, but we can talk about later like the in-depth training and support that comes with our team and stuff like that. We want to make sure your teachers are all comfortable, ready to rock and roll. Yes, ma'am?
I know you said something about essay grading. Did you say anything about worksheet grading?
Right now, there's not automatic worksheet grading. That still would all be done. So like when I build my my quiz there, right, the 10-question quiz, I would just have to take that and put it into Canvas and then have their speed grader go through that for me. There's no auto grading tools for general things like that yet. There is so much we want to build. It's coming, but not yet. So, awesome. Any other last questions? Okay, great. Well, thank you. Do you want me to share my email? Is that okay? Okay.
If you want to.
I'm more than happy to. So, it's really easy. It's just jeff@schoolai.com. It's just jeff@schoolai.com. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. More than happy to help wherever I can. JEFF. So. Awesome. Do I do a podcast? I don't. Nobody wants to listen to me talk. Nobody. Awesome. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.